I am not the best chairman in the world, but I believe I've given my all. I emphasize my all, even at the expense of my family welfare.
Federal High Court set aside the ruling suspending the chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshiomhole.
We are going to follow very strictly how these funds are applied by the executive arm of government.
Senate approves presidential loan request.
Sambakwe Airport is so sensitive that it's covering Enugu, Imo, Abia, and Anambra, and that's where we are very serious about it.
Update on coronavirus as state governments, health agencies and government parastatals intensify response mechanism to contain the virus. A Nigerian traveller who displayed symptoms of the virus is quarantined in Lagos. And in sports, Nigeria awaits certification of cycling velochrome in Abuja. Hello, this is NTN Network News, reaching you live from Abuja. I am Joseph Johnson. Dotun Oguyemi is in Lagos and Caleb is in Jos. A federal high court sitting in Kano has ordered that status quo be maintained in the APC national chairmanship tussle. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that the presiding judge, Justice Louis Alaugor, granted the order in a motion ex parte filed by one Aliyu Muhammad Rabiu.
A federal high court Abuja Wednesday suspended Adams Oshiomhole from parading himself as APC national chairman. Another high court in Kano this Thursday ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission not to deal or recognize anybody than Adams Oshiomhole as national chairman of the ruling APC, pending the determination of the substantive matter before it. The court restrained parties in the suit from giving effect to purported suspension of the chairman from Ward 10 Esako West of Edo State on the 2nd of November 2019. Counsel of the applicant, John Mary Chukukasi, moved the ex parte motion. The case has been adjourned to 8 April 2020 for hearing. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
And the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, has described his purported suspension from the governing party by his ward as null, void and of no effect. Mr. Oshiomhole stated this while addressing State House correspondents after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari. He said, in any case, the Abuja court order restraining him from discharging his responsibilities has also been set aside by a Superior Court ruling in Kano.
I thought that I have a duty to brief Mr. President as the overall leader of our party about this development. I am not the best chairman in the world, but I believe I've given my all. I emphasize my all, even at the expense of my family welfare and family life, to support my party and to ensure that I work sometimes almost 20 hours a day to ensure that I provide the desired leadership that APC need. Whatever you do, those who want to fight you will fight you. But I know that my tenure will be defined by God, not by man. And I worry more about what I will be remembered for when I was chairman rather than how long I was chairman. He who God stands with, no man born of a woman can bring him down.
APC National Chairman Adams Oshiomhole. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Justice M.B. Dongbang Mensem as the acting president of the Court of Appeal for an initial period of 3 months, with effect from March 6, 2020, when the incumbent president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bukachua, would statutorily retire from service. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity says, Justice Mensem is the next most senior judge of the Court of Appeal and will be acting pending when a substantive appointment to the position of the President of the Court of Appeal is made by President Buhari, subject to the confirmation of the Senate. The President's approval of the appointment of Justice Mensem followed the recommendation of the Chief Justice of Nigeria in line with the provisions of Section 23845 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. The retiring president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Adamu Bulkachuwa, has called for greater attention to be paid across the country to the education and empowerment of the girl child and women generally. She made the call at the special valedictory court session held to mark her exit as the president of the Court of Appeal. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
The attendance at the special valedictory court session for the retiring president of the Court of Appeal showed the effect of the service which Justice Zainab Bulkachuwa has offered Nigeria in her 43 years in the judiciary. Going from the Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and 2 retired Chief Justices of Nigeria, 8 governors, 3 former governors, Supreme Court and Court of Appeal justices, and tens of other personalities in the bar and bench. This therefore set the stage for her to speak on the area most dear to her now as she goes into retirement.
I go away with good cheers, and I pray that the Almighty Allah answers our prayers and grant us the will to build a nation where peace and justice shall reign.
Other key speakers who represented the legal community appraised Justice Zainab Bulkachuwa's tenure, saying it has been a blessing to Nigeria.
Honorable Justice Zainab Bulkachuwa has remained one of the best legal luminaries that this nation can boast of in our present day and legal chronicle.
She can listen patiently, answer wisely, consider soberly, and decide impatiently.
The NBA therefore calls for the immediate appointment of additional justices of the Court of Appeal.
If the success of Justice Zainab Bulkachuwa's tenure as president of the Court of Appeal and as a judicial officer were to be judged by the attendance at her valedictory court session, then one could easily come to the conclusion that she did not just end as a formidable judicial officer, but also touched the lives of various people in the process. From the Court of Appeal, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention to legislative matters now. The Senate has approved $22.79 billion as 2016-2018 federal government external borrowing plan. 3 states of Kaduna, Katsina and Kogi are to also benefit from the fund. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo has more.
On the 17th of November 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari transmitted the 2016-2018 federal government external borrowing plan request to the Senate for approval. 4 months after, the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt has concluded consultations and scrutiny of the loan request and recommended that $22.79 billion be approved.
Very commendable project coming to our state.
Each of the items contained in this document are projectized. Whatever revenue is generated from these infrastructural projects is escrowed.
The committee, which met with 13 federal ministries and some departments and agencies of government, explained that the loan will close infrastructural deficit and make Nigeria the media hub for Africa through the digitization of the Nigerian Television Authority.
That the NTA digitalization project, which includes the establishment of a state-of-the-art media and culture industrial center, will be positioned to become the digital media hub of West Africa.
There is no economy anywhere in the world, anywhere, even developed economies, where debts are not used for growth.
We are going to follow very strictly how these funds are applied by the executive arm of government.
Midway into the consideration, Senate dissolved into a closed-door session to address some gray areas. Thereafter, Senate resolved that all terms and conditions prior to the execution of all the projects as contained in the request must be forwarded to the National Assembly for proper documentation. Senate has approved the 2020 budget of the Niger Delta Development Commission of 340 billion naira, of which 306 billion is allocated to development projects. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has passed a resolution to investigate the Central Bank of Nigeria and other entities over alleged $30 billion revenue leakage on foreign exchange transaction. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
The alleged diversion and other malpractices said to have been perpetrated through foreign exchange allocation to companies is of great concern to the lawmakers.
So many other companies, of course, even take forex without importing any goods at all. And we are losing.
Using well-intended government economic policies to shortchange the Nigerian economy, Mr. Speaker, I want to say that this is something that must not be accepted.
House Committee on Finance and that of Banking and Currency were mandated to investigate the infractions.
We have huge revenue challenges to the extent that our budgets are not executed to the latter.
We have to block all leakages possible. There are two types of leakages. There's the negligence-based leakages, but there's also leakages based on acts of deliberate acts of fraud, which is obviously more egregious. And these are the areas that I believe that your committee and banking will be looking into.
A motion on the need to investigate the death of Tiamiyu Kazim, a player with Remo Stars Football Club, following the action of security personnel was adopted by the House, just as it resolved to investigate the Nigerian Immigration Service over allegations of extortion, passport racketeering and corrupt practices.
The collection of the cash by immigration personnel instead of payment through the remitter, which the official TSA payment channel, is a gross violation.
Thursday's plenary passed a bill reenacting the Companies and Allied Matters Act, while a bill to establish Federal College of Education, Umunochi, Abia State, and a bill to establish Federal University of Agriculture and Technology, Orerope, Delta State, sponsored by Representative Anthony Athe, passed second reading.
This institution is based on practical, on how to manufacture machineries and other researches for the development of our agricultural sector.
From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has appointed a task team of broadcast industry experts to assist in drawing an audience measurement system that will help in standardizing and making audience measurement system profitable. The minister announced this at a meeting with members of the Association of Advertising Agencies of Nigeria in Lagos. Anthony Forson reports.
7-man task team will be chaired by the former registrar and chief executive officer of APCON, Bello Kankarofi. Their mandate is to identify an audience measurement system that will support sustainable growth of the Nigerian creative industry and entertainment. It will also recommend a framework for supporting the sustainability of the audience measurement system independent of government. Just as it will also recommend a payment and disbursement framework among key players in the industry, that is, Broadcasting Organizations of Nigeria-born, Media Independent Practitioners Association of Nigeria, MIPAN, and Advertisers Association of Nigeria, ADVAN. This is to ensure that the system is transparent and rewarding.
Currently, government is expected to subsidize signal distribution because the channels cannot pay for the carriage of their channels by the licensed signal distributors, who on their part have invested in equipment and technology for digital transmission. Things cannot continue like this.
While the federal government has taken critical long-term decisions to support the Nigerian creative industry through funding the middleware that is capable of scientific audience measurement. To this end, the minister maintained that the industry framework can only happen if the ministry remains as a catalyst for putting in place a robust audience measurement system that is in line with global standards.
It is thus imperative that we urgently put in place an industry framework that will ensure that content producers receive their just due for the value of the content they create.
Lai Mohammed, however, frowned at the value of Nigeria's broadcasting advertising market, describing it as not proportionate with the country's population when compared to South Africa and Kenya. It is expected that by the end of 2020, the gap will decline from 2016's record of $81 million for Nigeria, while South Africa and Kenya stood at $343 million. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, has congratulated former President Olusegun Obasanjo as he marks his 83rd birthday today, Thursday, March 5. A statement by the special advisor to the President of the Senator, Ola Awoni, says Senator Lawan joined family members, friends and associates of the former president in rejoicing with him for attaining his advanced age in good health and sound mind. He said the former president has made indelible contributions to the unity and development of Nigeria in over 5 decades at the vanguard of nation building. Lawan recalled former President Obasanjo's pivotal roles at different epochs in the task to keep Nigeria one, stable, democratic and prosperous. He said Obasanjo has served his country with courage, wisdom and sense of history. The President of the Senate prayed that the former president would continue to be an asset for nation building in Nigeria and for emancipation of Africa. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has warmly congratulated the Chairman, Board of Directors of People's Media, Malam Wada Maida, on his 70th birthday. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, Buhari rejoices with the former Editor-in-Chief and Managing Director of News Agency of Nigeria, who also served as Press Secretary to the Head of State in 1984, on the milestone, highlighting his quintessential humility, sincerity and forthrightness for an upwardly mobile career. As current Chairman, Board of Directors of NAN and member of the Executive Board of International Press Institute, President Buhari affirms that Maida's contribution to growth of journalism in the country remains commendable, especially his foray into publishing. The President believes Maida's patriotism, dedication and commitment to peace and unity of the country through his chosen profession will always be remembered, commending his efforts to mentor and inspire a generation of journalists within and outside Nigeria. President Buhari praised that the Almighty God will grant his former press secretary longer life, good health and strength to keep serving the nation. Now let's just pause here for some messages. Stay with us.
You can choose to do this with your stew, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network. Refresh your confidence with the liquid filling of a Center Fresh gum. Center Fresh. Trust the freshness. On 3 people. Together we fit make our country stand fit. We dey call everybody to join hand, make life for better for we people and the ones when they operate sugar estate inside we communities. The better government of Nigeria don't stand gidigba to grow we economy through the one then they call agro-allied industries like sugar company them. That's what means say they go range local sugar company when go make Nigeria they produce 100% of we sugar through waiting that they call backward integration program BIP on top the Nigeria Sugar Master Plan. Sugar na the third most important item for we federal government strategic food policy. Investor then go soon shook eye on top to find the place where they go range the companies them put. My people when they for community when get sugar plantation, support these investors. Not shout for them, not fight them, not destroy their plantation or equipment. Welcome them with full mind because then they are our community to help us grow with country plus to create job for our youth them, build road, school, etc. etc. Make we support the National Sugar Development Council to make Nigeria major producer of sugar for Africa and the world. Make we give this chance. For more tori, halelego www.nsdc.gov.ng. Now National Sugar Development Council bring una this message.
That channel where you watch just now don't waka. No panic.
Then say me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Yeah, press OK. Wow! Now you sef fit catch all those channels wey be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your groove for no loss. You see as I do am, abi? And I see as I do am.
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I see as we do am.
Consideration of the appeals of organizations that could not partake in the verification exercise that was carried out by the NDDC between January and February 2020 on its activities, projects, and programs. All contractors, consultants, vendors, suppliers, and non-governmental organizations doing business with NDDC who have outstanding claims to projects, programs, or supplies but are yet to participate in the exercise are hereby requested to proceed to the River State Office of the NDDC for verification and their contractual status. They are to appear with 3 copies, soft copies, and originals for citing of the following documents: letter of awards of contract, contract agreements, interim payment certificates. Please note that all contractors, consultants, and service providers are required to show evidence of compliance with the statutory requirements listed in Section 16(6) of the Public Procurement Act 2007. All documents should be submitted in print and soft copy formats. The continuation of verification exercise will take place at the River State Office of the NDDC between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. from Monday 9th to Friday 20th March 2020. Management announcer.
Cheetah International Hotel, pleasurable evolution you can't resist. A concept delivered. Cheetah International Hotel brings you face to face with an unimaginable experience you can't erase. You'll like to come again and again. One thing you will hate is to be told the story. Another thing you will love is to be part of the story. You are looking for where your gain equals the cost. Break even with Cheetah International Hotel with our world-class event center that is set to blow your mind away. A world-class arena equipped with top-notch facilities, syndicate boardrooms, hall 1, 2, and 3, underground basement hall, gallery, and many more. Located on plot 224, Solomon Law Way, Utako District, Abuja. For more information on your highly distinguished hotel services, call 081 007 18882 or 081 007 18883. Cheetah International Hotel, a place where your history and future is made.
Welcome back. Now, let's talk COVID-19, and we're heading to Lagos, where a Nigerian who recently returned from France and displayed some symptoms similar to that of coronavirus has been quarantined at the mainland hospital, Yaba, Lagos. Lagos State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, disclosed this during the daily update on the virus. Joyken Abakboya has details.
The new suspected case, a male Nigerian, arrived the country 3 days ago after spending 1 week in France, a country currently battling the ravaging virus.
Returned 3 days ago, developed headache, but no fever, just headache and some respiratory symptoms. We're not taking chances. There's active transmission going on in France, and so we've isolated him. We're running the test, and we will have that information as soon as it's ready.
Giving an update on the index case, Professor Akin Abayomi says the Italian may soon be discharged as his condition becomes more stable on a daily basis. In Lagos, Joyken Abakboya, NTA News.
And in line with federal government's response mechanism to contain spread of COVID-19, environmental health officers have been provided guidelines to ensure adherence to standard procedures in the operations. Onengia Finefest reports.
COVID-19 outbreak has given rise to leverage the services provided by environmental health workers to increase surveillance of high-risk areas as part of measures initiated by the Ministry of Environment to contain spread of the virus.
Government is committed to improving the state of the environment because most of the disease burden of the country hinge on low or poor standards of our environment.
Consequently, a guideline to ensure safe and effective operations has been provided for environmental health officers.
We are faced with a lot of challenges of emerging and emerging diseases. So the environmental health workforce are ever ready.
In addition to surveillance, practitioners can now verify data and produce reports to facilitate management of COVID-19 and other diseases associated with the environment. In Abuja, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
The management of Sam Bekwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, has assured that there is no cause for alarm as more measures are being put in place to ensure the safety of passengers in the face of the coronavirus outbreak. NTA News visited the airport for situation update. Kinsley Ononihu has details.
Visit to the Sam Bekwe International Cargo Airport, Owerri, reviews that the management is not leaving anything to chance towards ensuring the prevention of infection through their facility. Already, the entry and exit points have been provided with facilities for hand washing as well as sanitizer.
Sam Bekwe Airport is so sensitive that it's covering Enugu, Imo, Abia, and Anambra, and that's where we are very serious about it.
The airport manager, Rejoice Ndudinachi, stressed the need for compliance with ground rules.
They should not be afraid. We've already put measures on ground. People can travel, but people should avoid crowded areas. So we're actually trying to make sure we don't have long queues here.
In Owerri, Kinsley Ononihu, NTA News.
The Nigerian Air Force says that Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed some logistics facilities belonging to Boko Haram terrorists at Bakari, Ghana, on the fringes of the Sambisa Forest in Borno State. In a statement by NAV Director Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, this was achieved in airstrikes conducted on 4th March 2020 as one of the missions marking the commencement of a new air interdiction operation, Operation Decisive Edge, which was initiated to especially target known Boko Haram terrorist hideouts that are inaccessible to ground force due to the terrain, as well as the fact that the approaches to the locations are heavily mined. The attack was executed after a series of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions confirmed that the Boko Haram terrorists were storing their fuel and other logistics in some huts within Bakari, Ghana. Accordingly, The ATF detailed fighter jets to engage the location in 2 waves of attack, recording devastating hits in the target area, leading to the destruction of the fuel storage facilities, which were seen engulfed in flames. Some of the Boko Haram terrorist fighters were also neutralized in the process. Earlier in the day, the Nigerian Air Force had also provided close air support as a combination of air and ground operations dealt a decisive blow on the Boko Haram terrorists, neutralizing several of their fighters and destroying some gun trucks. The NAF, operating in concert with surface forces, will sustain the intensity of its air campaign to shape the battle space in the northeast for the effective conduct of further ground and air operations. And 19 Boko Haram members have been killed in counter-insurgency operations in the northeast. A statement by the Nigerian Army Operations Media Coordinator, Colonel Aminu Ilyasu, indicates that the terrorists in gun trucks attempted to infiltrate 25 Task Force Brigade Army Super Camp 2, located in Damboa local government area of Borno State. Colonel Ilyasu notes that 3 soldiers, however, paid the supreme price during the encounter that also led to the recovery of several arms. In the meantime, no rehabilitated terrorist is being recruited into the Nigerian military. Now, this is contained in a message by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Olonishakin, to the stakeholders meeting for the release of rehabilitated Boko Haram members holding in Abuja. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa Hasmo.
The Nigerian military has now been engaged in counter-insurgency operations in the northeast for over a decade, with recorded successes. What continues to make headlines is the fallout of the fight and its impact on socio-economic development in affected areas. To complement ongoing military operations being prosecuted through the theater of war, a non-kinetic, multi-agency and humanitarian program, Operation Safe Corridor, was introduced in 2015.
President Muhammadu Buhari established Operation Safe Corridor to create avenue for willing and repentant Boko Haram fighters to surrender.
The program that admits low-risk repentant Boko Haram members involves intensive profiling, counseling and skill acquisition program, has so far received 893 clients, comprising 874 adults and 19 minors. 280 rehabilitated clients, including 2 Chadians, have been transferred to their respective national and state authorities.
And assure Nigerians that none of the clients rehabilitated from the Operation Safe Corridor scheme has been recruited into the Nigerian military or any sister security agencies.
Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Now let's take a look at some of the day's other news. The federal government is committed towards fulfilling all the campaign promises aimed at continuing improving the socio-economic development of the country and that of the citizens. This was contained in President Muhammadu Buhari's message to the 2nd National Policy Development Summit holding in Abuja. Musa Babali reports.
Today, being the 5th of March 2020, makes it 309 days that this administration came to be following its inauguration in 2019. And moving the country to the next level has been the focus of the administration.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this gathering therefore is put together with a view to analyzing the next level agenda of the present administration.
The whole essence is for us to bring in experts, interrogate these issues, look at what best trajectory to put the nation on so that we can propel the nation to the next level.
Security, economy, infrastructure and social development were the issues tabled for discussion.
That at this critical moment we should be circumspect when appraising the security situation in Nigeria.
Federal government have huge drive in infrastructure development.
The government has to be consistent in making sure that as many people as possible benefit.
In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Following the cancellation of this year's United Nations Conference on the Commission on the Status of Women, the Ministry of Women Affairs, in collaboration with the United Nations Secretariat, is to host a National Women's Conference, Momso Demendati tells us more.
All was set for the 61st session of the United Nations Conference on the Commission on the Status of Women, scheduled for the 9th to 20th of this month. Then came the outbreak of the phenomenal coronavirus, posing a threat to the entire world. For this reason, the conference is called off, making it necessary for this conference to hold.
The CSW 64th session has been scaled down to a one-day event. The session will be addressed by the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, and the President of ECOSOC. A political declaration will be adopted at the one-day session.
To continue working with UN agencies to increase representation of women.
Health delivery, particularly at the primary health level, will not work unless women are in there.
Women's participation in building the nation is a prerequisite for creating a society that is peaceful.
The proposed mini-convention will serve as a platform to take stock of the country's strides in the area of women development in the last 25 years. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offence Commission, ICPC, seeks collaboration with Nigerian Television Authority to embark on aggressive enlightenment and education of Nigerians on the ills of corruption. Ngozi Silva Technical reports that the synergy to explore other avenues of communication was reached during a courtesy visit of ICPC to the NTA.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, since inception, is saddled with the responsibility of ridding the country of all kinds of corruption by investigating and prosecuting corrupt offenders. Chairman of the Commission, Professor Bolaji Owasonoye, in a courtesy visit to the Director General of NTA, said the mandate can only be actualized when the media, such as NTA, brings its professionalism to bear in educating the citizens to tell the nation's corrupt stories based on reality and not on perception.
The most damaging information about Nigeria comes from Nigeria, from within. It's what we think and say about ourselves.
The DG of NTA, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed, affirmed that the federal government fight against corruption is a joint venture that should be supported by all concerned agencies.
The fact of partial commercialization should not blind us to our social responsibility to the people and government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The handshake between the duo cements their relationship to explore other avenues toward achieving a common set goal. In Abuja, Ngozi Silva, Technical, NTA News.
The federal government has assured the Bayelsa State government that due diligence will be exercised to refund money spent on the construction of federal roads in the state. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Finance, Mr. Aliyu Ahmed, gave the assurance during an on-the-spot assessment of projects executed by the Bayelsa State government. Benimi Zitimiola reports.
The Inter-Ministerial Committee, led by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Finance, Mr. Aliyu Ahmed, visited the Mefodo Kilo Road, formerly Mbiama-Yenegua Road, Ekoli Bridge, and the Yenegua-Oporoma Federal Road, still under construction. The Permanent Secretary noted that the visit is to verify claims by the Bayelsa State government on its intervention of federal roads with the view to reimburse the government.
The federal government is supposed to construct this road, but because Bayelsa State government is in a hurry, to open up this area of the state, they have decided to construct the road. So by the time we go back, we'll turn in our reports, and on the basis of that, Bayelsa State government will be compensated.
The state had approached the federal government to come in to see how these funds could be reimbursed.
Yenegua, Ebinimi, Zitimiola, NTA News.
Farmers and stakeholders in oil palm and tomatoes value chain in Nigeria will soon receive value on investments as OCP Africa Fertilizers Nigeria, in collaboration with some research institutes, launch research to improving agriculture yield in Nigeria. Benny Adams reports that while he witnessed the signing of the MOU for crop and soil-specific fertilizers in the country in Abuja.
Nigeria spends millions of dollars annually on importation of palm oil, and the country records a rising consumption rate of 2.9%. The story is not different with tomato paste, due to rush demand when tomato is out of season.
OCP is building a socially, commercially and ecologically sustainable system to improve agriculture across Nigeria.
Putting pen on paper by OCP Africa Fertilizers and the Nigerian Institute for Oil Palm Research and the National Horticultural Research Institute is kickstarting a culture of using the right fertilizer for each crop and soil.
Without a good soil, definitely you cannot have a good yield.
My farmers are not meeting the yield potentials of the crop because of their practices.
A lot of importation of tomato in this country, which is a source of foreign exchange drain to our economy. So this will just bridge the gap.
We're going to be working with the time of the research institutions. Normally for this kind of research, it will take about upward of 24 months.
The Nigerian partners believe that the scientific outcomes from the project on oil palm and tomato will provide knowledge and capabilities that will better conserve and manage soil resources and improve GDP from agriculture. Benny Adams, NTA News.
Time now to join Dotun in Lagos for more reports. Dotun.
Thank you, Joseph, and a warm welcome to Lagos. The goal of ending piracy in the Nigerian waterways and the Gulf of Guinea is receiving legislative push as the House Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration has promised legislative backing to ensure the full operation of the nation's integrated maritime security and surveillance infrastructure. The committee members were on oversight to critical maritime facilities in Lagos. Michael Olale reports.
These two vessels are suspected of carrying out an illegal STF.
This is the C4I Operational Center, the eye of the Deep Blue project and an integral part of efficient surveillance of the nation's maritime space. It is part of a comprehensive maritime architecture, raising the hope of players in the industry that the era of piracy, oil bunkering and illegal fishing, draining more than $2 billion from the nation's coffers, will soon be a thing of the past. This high expectation informed the visit of the House Committee on Maritime Safety, Education and Administration to this facility and other crucial maritime security outposts with the aim of strengthening legislation that will ensure their prompt utilization.
You want to go to the sea and fight? No, this is the way we're going to fight it. And so we're putting all the measures in place, and we just have to make sure, like I said, that we get it done right and that we complete it and not have it be like an inchoate sort of project that's just never ending.
To the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, this oversight visit is timely as it will go a long way at boosting its quest of promoting indigenous capacity in the shipping industry and ensure the goal of placing the country at the apex of maritime security.
We are very focused on tackling our greatest challenge. That greatest challenge is piracy and maritime crime. And in other areas, you know that our record speaks for itself. Today, the world acknowledges that in West and Central Africa, we're number one in post-state control.
The committee, which also visited Navy Town Kirikiri, is now informed on areas of intervention that will be of assistance to the maritime domain. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
And that report ends our contribution from Lagos. Network News continues with Joseph in Abuja after this break.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice. And making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence. with Pepsodent's Triple Protection 123. It's 3 toothpaste in 1 to give them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent's Triple Protection 123.
Wake up, nothing can hold us down.
Breakfast your day, every day.
Nestle, good food, good life.
It is morning, a new beginning. As you prepare everyone for the day ahead, just anything is not enough. Only you make breakfast special, creamy, tasty, with vitamins and nutrients we need for a delightful, healthy start.
So start your day right with Hollandia Evap.
You're still watching NTA Network News, and we are back in Abuja. Nigerian Deposit Insurance Corporation (NDIC) says it will intensify partnership with the banks of industry and agriculture for a safe, sound and stable banking sector that offers strong support to the promotion of the agricultural sector. Achari Maxwell reports that Managing Director of the corporation, Umar Ibrahim, stated this in a message to the NDIC Special Day at the ongoing Kaduna International Trade Fair.
In line with their mandate of confidence building and safety in the banking sector, NDIC is at the 2020 Kaduna International Trade Fair to interface with business partners and critical stakeholders in the financial sector towards unlocking Nigeria's economic potential through regional integration.
The objective of the current management is to prop up agriculture so as to bring back the glory of yesteryears that resulted in the famous groundnut pyramids in the north, cocoa in the southwest, and palm oil in the southeast as the primary foreign exchange earner of the nation.
The NDIC Managing Director, Umar Ibrahim, in a message said the corporation has been taking steps to strengthen operations at the microfinance banks with the view to meeting the needs of farmers.
The NDIC, like the other critical stakeholder in the financial system, is fully aware of its obligation towards the fulfillment of the federal government's elaborate economic policy.
This year's participation of NDIC at the ongoing Kaduna International Trade Fair was also an avenue for sensitization on the merits of insurance in the banking sector. In Kaduna, Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
And the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has observed its special day at the ongoing Kaduna International Trade Fair with exhibition of new deals in goods and services that seek to open up more frontiers of inclusive economic prosperity. Mejama Adamu reports that a definitive promise for the Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano gas line project is part of the new deals.
With the theme Unlocking Nigeria's Economic Potential Through Regional Integration, the 41st Kaduna International Trade Fair shares good NNPC's vision of linking all the nation's regions with cost-effective energy to propel integrated national economic growth. Beyond exhibition of its newest engine-friendly lubricant and cooking gas, the pavilion of the NNPC at the Trade Fair ground showcases assorted projects and programs that seek to fast-track revolution, efficiency, profitability, and transparency in all aspects of its operations. In his message to mark the special day of the corporation at the trade fair, the Group Managing Director, Madam Mele Kyari, says, at the moment, NNPC is transforming from its oil and gas tradition into an integrated power outfit with focus on power generation and distribution. This, he says, is to bridge a huge energy gap in the Nigerian market, in addition to their engagement in developing renewable energy to over time create low-carbon economy and link the oil and gas sector to the agricultural sector.
I'm sure you are all aware of the AKK. AKK is Ajaokuta Kaduna Kano gas pipeline. Now, this has been in the works for a while, but as we speak, a contract has been signed, and beginning this second quarter, that project will commence. Now, what is the beauty of that project? Gas has a multiplier effect in terms of economy.
The President Kaduna Chamber of Commerce, Industries, Mines and Agriculture, Farida Muhibbat Ankaka, says NNPC remains a reliable ally in the task of unlocking and maximum exploitation of regional economic potentials to enhance economic fortunes of all Nigerians. The NNPC seeks to enhance value addition by fostering increased competitiveness in economic engagements. In Kaduna, Mejama Adamu, NTA News.
Let's bring you a story from our Jos Network Center where Caleb is standing by.
Thank you, Joseph. Welcome to Jos. The Industrial Training Fund, ITF, has inaugurated an e-library complex and other educational facilities to enhance teaching, learning and research. The facilities in Jos will benefit students, lecturers, researchers and other professionals in advancement of knowledge. Mary Domtour has a report.
The tripartite project, according to ITF, is tagged the ITF Reviewed Vision Strategies for Mandate Actualization. Minister of Trade, Industry and Investment applauded ITF for the feat as its mandate lends it into job creation for the huge number of unemployed youths.
Of this government, it is clear that they must be focused on delivering on said mandate. It is for this reason that I am especially gratified about the Modern Library Complex.
Beneficiaries of ITF skills empowerment programs are successful entrepreneurs and employers of labor, an achievement that Governor Simon Lalong traced to the leadership quality of the Director General and his management team.
Through our active collaboration and support, over 5,000 citizens have benefited from these ITF programs.
E-library, as it is known, with all the competing with the Library of Congress and all the others, with all the necessary paraphernalia. The library will also come in handy with our collaboration with the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board.
The Industrial Training Fund, established in 1971, has continued to empower Nigerian youths on various skills acquisition. In Jos, Mary Domtour, NTA News.
Joseph, Jos is done. It's back to you.
Yeah, Caleb from our Jos Network Center there. Let's just take a break. We're back shortly.
It's been 34 years that our great patriot and loving friend, son, brother, father and grandfather, as well as our indefatigable leader, former Minister of the FCT, late Major General Mamman Giavasa, left this world. Your legacies as a gallant soldier, poet, author, farmer and philanthropist still lives on. Dad, your life was a blessing, your memory a treasure. You are loved beyond words and missed beyond measure. Though gone, but indelible in our hearts forever. May your gentle soul rest in Al-Jannah Firdaus, fondly remembered by Muhammad Vasa, for the family, friends and associates.
Man blossoms forth like a flower and is cut down. He fleets also as a shadow, but continues not. It is with deepest sorrow and humble acceptance of God's will, we announce the passing on to glory of our dearly beloved Sir Lucky Omolua, who died on February 18, 2020, aged 66 years. Funeral programs: Thursday, 5th March 2020, service of songs and night of tribute. Venue: the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Aguin Rosiwe, Maitama, Abuja. Time: 5 p.m. Friday, 6th March 2020. Commendation and Memorial Service. Venue: the proposed Cathedral of the 12 Apostles, Papal's Ground, Kubwa, Abuja. Time: 11 a.m. Reception follows at the International Conference Center, Garki, Abuja. Sir Lucky will be forever remembered for his extremely kind and generous heart. He is survived by his wife, children and grandchildren. The family. Announcer.
Well, let's head straight to sports now. Nigeria awaits certification of cycling velodrome in Abuja. Kenema Aburike brings us more on sports update.